Hi, everyone. Welcome to your first day as being a Promise Fellow. My name is Noam Wiggs, and I'm one of the trainers here at the Alliance. So there are four of us that share the training that happens with Promise Fellows, AmeriCorps, and their host site. So I just wanted to extend a warm welcome to all of you, and thank you for your commitment to serve as an AmeriCorps Promise Fellow. This is a significant commitment and a great opportunity for your own growth and professional development. And you'll get to know a lot of us over the course of this coming year. So, really, I just want to spend some time welcoming you on your first day, giving you a little bit of a taste of who we are here at the Alliance. So you'll see a couple pictures in front of you. So on the top left, this is multiple teams coming together here at Minnesota Alliance with Youth. So you'll see members of the Minnesota Youth Council there, Grad Minnesota, and then, of course, the Promise Fellow team. In the bottom right, this is from our celebration last year. These were some of the members that came together and had essentially lunch and a picnic and games in one of the parks here in Minneapolis. So, the main purpose of this is really to welcome you and just give you some essential information about the next few weeks. And then also share helpful tips and tools about communicating the role of a Promise Fellow at your site. So once again, this is a pre-recorded orientation. So if we had been doing this, we would have gone through and really spent some time engaging and seeing who the Promise Fellows are. So I'm going to tab through and just kind of answer some very brief questions. Promise Fellows serve all over the state of Minnesota. So we did a poll in our interactive webinar that asked where people are from. So there's quite a few folks that serve in the Twin Cities metro and suburban area, but we are statewide. So we have people, in Duluth, in Ely, in Worthington, in Faribault, in Northfield, in Wilmer, all over the state. There are people that serve through many different types of sites. So there are people that serve at community-based site. And so really those are commonly your after-school programming. So that could be like a Boys and Girls Club. That could be the Y. That could be a geographically bound community center. Your school-based sites, which are the middle schools and high schools, ALCs. And then lastly, at the Innovation Partner Network sites. So there's Promise Fellows that just serve in order to share resources with other Promise Fellows. So you'll get to know them over the course of this coming year and get more exposure to them at both at many of the days over Promise Fellow Institute, which we'll get here in a bit. And finally, Promise Fellows really serve a lot of students, and it's not focused in any one area. There are people that just serve at middle school sites. There's also folks that serve at just high school, but then there's a lot of folks that work with the transition years. So they'll have some middle school age students and some high school age students. Really what I want to point out is that you all are a great resource for each other, and so we try to make sure that we create time for you all and to form relationships and share resources amongst each other. So I do want to share what you're part of. As an AmeriCorps Promise Fellow, you're part of several different organizations and networks. So that's Minnesota Alliance with Youth, AmeriCorps, the AmeriCorps organization, the Corporation for National and Community Service. These can be places of support and growth for you throughout your term of service. Here's many of the great faces that you can see. So these are past Promise Fellows that have served. So this is a small sample of what you all are and the service that you all do. So Minnesota Alliance with Youth is a collaborative network advocating with and for youth to ensure that all young people have the proven resources that they need to be successful. And that's what we call the 5 promises. So caring adults, safe places, healthy start, an effective education, and opportunities to serve. So as an introduction to the Alliance, we started in 1997. We're a statewide program. Our office is located in St. Paul. The Promise Fellow program has continued to expand from 10 members to 60 members, to 200 members this year. And we partner closely with your host sites to support you and your service. And the Alliance supports 2 other key initiatives that you'll hear throughout the year. So you'll hear just making sure I'm in the right spot. About the Minnesota Youth Council, which is a statewide council comprised of youth from all of the 8 Minnesota legislative districts, which provides unique and valuable opportunities for youth to share their voice in philanthropy, policy, and leadership. We also have Grad Minnesota, which is a collaboration of the Minnesota Department of Education, the Governor's Office, and the Alliance, and supports the goals to increase graduation rates by 90% in 2020. AmeriCorps itself was established under Bill Clinton and celebrated 20 years just 2 years ago. So here we have a picture of the swearing-in ceremony that happened 2 years ago at the Mall of America. So in 2016, we hit the marker of 1 million AmeriCorps members. Annually, you're part of over 75,000 AmeriCorps members that serve in the United States each year. And Alliance partners closely with Serve Minnesota at the state level and the Corporation for National and Community Service at the national level to administer the AmeriCorps Promise Fellow program. And so you'll see those logos there. So the AmeriCorps celebrating 20 years and the Corporation for National and Community Service. The other unique piece is there's only 2 states in the country that have Promise Fellows, so we regularly partner with the Massachusetts Promise Fellow, and we connect throughout the year to highlight both programs during the Promise Fellow Week. So being part of AmeriCorps is a huge professional development and networking opportunity, both this year and throughout your life. So to kind of get into some of the more detail around being a Promise Fellow, as many of you know, there's the Segal Education Award, and it's one of the benefits of serving as an AmeriCorps, and it's the $5,775 that you receive upon successful completion of service. The Education Award can be used for qualified current education expenses or to repay eligible federal student loans. The name's named after Eli Segal, which is one of the pioneers in the National Service Movement and was the first CEO for the Federal Corporation of National and Community Service. Along with that, so in the last couple of days, you should have been emailed your My AmeriCorps account information. So if you just recently came on, you'll receive that notification on a rolling basis, so it will be coming soon. And really, you need to get all of your member paperwork in before you'd get the information for your My AmeriCorps account. And it will be used to put current student loans on forbearance in your education award. Next summer, you'd be able to unlock it and use it after you've successfully exited from your term of service. So your first step as you start your service is to register your My AmeriCorps account by following the link that was sent to you. It's sometimes in your spam folder, but you can find it by searching the terms My AmeriCorps, which essentially is the top title of this slide. And with that, if you have qualified federal loans that are in repayment, you can reach out and contact us here at the Alliance. So Hannah Zelmer works closely as a compliance and finance associate here at the Alliance, and she can help with any of the information around repayment as you reach out to put your loan forbearance, your loans on forbearance. You can do that through your My AmeriCorps account. We also encourage you to look up the Public Service Loan Forgiveness Program. This can be a great student loan repayment option for individuals who see themselves serving the public sector for at least 10 years. AmeriCorps will also pay accrued interest or interest accrued during the term of service. You can select that option at the end of the service term prior to using the education award. So if you have any questions about navigating My AmeriCorps, just once again, please be in contact with Hannah Zelmer. You can find her contact information, and I'll show you all how to find the staff here at the Alliance here at the end when we go into the website. Since you all just started your service, another thing, there's information for Hannah Zelmer, so I'll just leave it up for a second. She is the fantastic person that helps navigate any of the operation questions that you have. So those would be questions around, My AmeriCorps, around getting your paperwork done, background checks, pieces like that. So communicating your role. So Since you are in your first week of service, many of you are working on, just introducing yourselves to people and, figuring out what your first week of service looks like. So we encourage everyone to check with your supervisor about key tasks and an orientation plan for your first few weeks. Some of this might be time observing, shadowing, or joining in on meetings. And it will be filled with a lot of introductions to new staff at your site. So the most important thing you can really be doing at your site is taking time to build these relationships. And we just have a few key ideas for you to connect with staff. So you can always ask your supervisor the best way to meet other staff at your site and introduce yourself and which staff are key to meet to be successful in your position. Get out of your office and meet other people around you. Walk around and introduce yourself at your site. You can say, "Hi, my name is X," or "My name is Noam, and I'm the AmeriCorps Promise Fellow serving here, and I look forward to connecting with you this year." You can write an email to staff. So many people introduce themselves via email as an AmeriCorps Promise Fellow. You can share your role and include several fun things about yourself. I'll show you where you can get an electronic signature that you can send as a follow-up. And then probably most importantly all is just be authentic, be yourself, and know it's okay not to know everything, either about your position or about your site. And we'll spend more time during the training in the first full week of September to share more around AmeriCorps language and introducing yourself via an elevator speech. We'll also have some pieces of gear for you, so there'll be a sign so that way you can hang up so people will know you and your role. We'll have a shirt, lanyard, pin that we'll be handing out, and we're going to ask everyone to have something that signifies or represents that they're serving on them at all times through the service here. So I'm really leveraging national service. Trying to think, there's the email signature that you can use, and we'll really be spending more time on this during the first small core meeting, and then going into the Promise Fellow Institute. So many of you have already reached out and are wondering how to track your service hours. And just know that you'll receive your login at your first small core meeting. So we're really just trying to do this all together the first time. Your first timesheet will be officially due in Encore, which is our database, on September 16th, and you'll receive that first living allowance on September 30th. So the pay periods here for the living allowance are really the 1st to the 15th, and then 16th through the end of the month. So it takes one pay period to get into the cycle. And for right now, as far as tracking hours, since we are doing this together during that first small core meeting, is just to track your hours and a short description of what you do, including this webinar in a notebook or Excel sheet. And at the small core meetings next week, you'll be trained on how to enter hours in Encore. And then, as it says there at the bottom, you'll submit your first timesheet on September 16th. There's two big pieces that are happening right now. Both are paperwork related. So if you have any outstanding paperwork, please realize that you're not able to serve until it's all complete. So make sure that anything that you need or that Hannah has reached out and needs from you, that you be in correspondence and let her know. Also, a lot of folks reach out for child care assistance. So if you're interested in applying for the child care assistance, please reach out to Hannah's Elmer as well. And just in general about communications, since we do support 200 Promise Fellows statewide, we communicate primarily via email. So just please read emails thoroughly and keep your email address updated. If you have a different email, please send an email to your trainer and just say, hey, this is the email that I need, because the email, especially in the beginning of the year, wherever you're currently getting Minnesota Alliance emails, is what we have for your primary email address. We always try to get back to you within 24 hours, and we're in touch, so please be in touch if you have any questions or concerns. And overall, we just love hearing about your stories, and we're all here to help you. So what's coming next? This is the big training that will be happening on September 14th through September 16th. But before that, like I mentioned, on next week, which is September 6th through September 9th, we will be having our first small core meetings. So if you don't know what your small core is, that was emailed out to you, and if you're confused, please reach out to either Sarah Elmer or myself, no links. And during that first small core meeting, you'll be going over the AmeriCorps Promise Fellow program and also what the model is, and have just a chance to ask any questions. We'll be using computers during our first small core meeting, so please bring yours. It'll be a full day training from 9 to 3 with lunch provided. And along with that, we sent out an RSVP link that was with that Promise Fellow Institute that you see on the screen, and it had Welcome Week activities. So on Tuesday, September 6th from 3 to 5 p.m., there'll be an optional time where you can get to know you and other Promise Fellow peers by grilling here at the Alliance in St. Paul. We'll also have an optional service project on Wednesday, September 7th at Minnehaha Falls, which is one of the many beautiful parks here in Minneapolis. And then for folks that are coming in potentially from outstate that live a little bit farther away, we'll have another opportunity after one of the days of Promise Fellow Institute. So, please make sure to RSVP to that link. If you are a Promise Fellow that is serving and traveling over 60 miles one way, in that link you can also select that, because we will provide hotel accommodations for anyone traveling over 60 miles one way. You can also you can coordinate carpools either by responding to the emails that were sent out to your small core, or by reaching out via the 1617 Facebook group. Both are great ways to get in contact with your peers. So what I'm going to spend some time right now doing is outlining our resource page. So I am going to minimize this presentation, go into the website. So right now in front of you, you can see our website, which is mnyouth.net. And right now I clicked on our work. So under our work, you'll see the Promise Fellow program resource page, along with some of our other initiatives here at the Alliance, such as VISTA, Minnesota Youth Council, Grad Minnesota. And I would encourage everyone just to take some time to click through. This is where we'll post all the resources, and it'll be updated throughout the year. So you can get more information about the model, which has one-pagers, and the research that the services you'll be providing are based off of, along with the AmeriCorps Promise Fellow Handbook. That's a Word doc that I'm not going to open right now, but you'll get a hard version of that at your training or your first small core training. There's intervention resources, so as we get into training, we'll be doing coaching around how to support youth. There's resources there for that. Once again, it will be continually updated. Training materials and calendar, so we have the Promise Fellow training calendar that has all the trainings throughout the year, so you can check those out. They have AmeriCorps and Alliance resources. This is really handy, especially in the first couple weeks, or probably the first couple months even of your service term, to look at. So this has a PowerPoint around how you can describe your service. So for instance, if you're presenting what you're doing this year at a staff meeting, you could borrow this and update it so that way people can know. This has the Promise Fellow email signature, signage, the Facebook group. I'm going to just scroll down a little bit. It has information around my AmeriCorps, so if you need more information, the link to log in is there. And then at the bottom, there's more information around loan resources and then member benefits. So just take a few moments and just explore the rest of the website. And there's more information. The last one I'm going to click into is the Promise Fellow vocab. So as with a lot of areas, we have language that is AmeriCorps specific or Promise Fellow specific. So if you need more information or want more grounding, here's a good way to learn more about some of the pieces that we'll be talking about over the course of the coming year. So right now, I just wanted to thank everyone for taking the time to watch this presentation. And if you have any questions, please be in touch. Thanks.